Do they have what liability is on them based on the business you guys conduct on a daily basis?
None
whatsoever. So you guys bear all the liability.
Yeah.
Because if he loses his license for whatever reason, y'all business wherever in that area is gone.
Yeah, it's done.
Right. Y'all must pay them motherfuckers like. If I knew that I had that type of a hold over a company. What's she been up to?
Nothing, just working.
How that been going? That shit you sent me on Instagram, did they buy the building in North Hollywood? Is that what that was?
That's what I thought they did, and then I looked into it, and they partner with like a like hedge fund type organization to where like they're gonna buy it, and we're gonna guarantee like a 10-15 year lease or something.
Oh, okay, got it. You got it.
Cause I'm like, yo, even when it was sent to me, I was like, yo, we not in the real estate game. Like, yo, that ain't.
I thought it would have been a smart move if y'all did buy it, because it can venture into that, right? And when you own your land, you know, you can kind of pick and choose what you want to do with it. If you want to expand.
But the thing is licensing. Right? You lose your license or something happens to where your license needs to move. You got like, it's not like a normal business where you can just open anything there. Like,
what do you mean?
Like cannabis licensing is like, let's say the city council decides to build a school around the corner. Congratulations, you're gonna lose your license for that building because now it's in proximity to a school.
Well, you wouldn't lose your license.
No, you just have to move.
Yeah,
but
no, you wouldn't have to move. You own the land, so you would just have to change what business is in that building.
Yeah,
that's all that is. You know,
exactly.
Yeah. Now the question is, if they did build a school and you're under a 15-year lease, what does that do?
To the lease,
I assume
right?
you have to pay the lease to its end, even if something like that was to happen. That's what I would assume, right? Whereas if you own the property, you know, you can kind of do whatever you want. And but no, like I think even still, you know, a 15-year guarantee, it is what it is.
Yeah, right.
So would that be something you would be taking over, or?
No. We were just talking about it because.
Oh, so it's not a deal that's done.
No, it's a deal that's done. But right now, like this is probably a year and a half until this matures. This is usually how like our deals go, at least, because right now the shit's a mechanic shop.
Right.
You know, like, yo, they still got to demo all that. Like I took the wrong exit taking Zamir to school, and I seen our Pacoima location, and I'm like, shit, we've had this fucking building for like 9 months, and it's up and ready to go, but you know, city permits and shit, where I'm like, yo, this should be taking forever.
Right. So the demo and everything, the owners do that. Y'all don't do that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Nah, that sounds cool though. You know, expansion is always good.
Right. I was like, yo, right around the corner. I was like, oh shit.
Right.
And the thing is, I don't know like who chooses our locations and why, but we tend to have some like fucking whack ass locations. Like, we got 2 San Bernardino locations. We got like Harupa Valley, Palm Desert, like these like kind of fucking rando areas. Even the ones we got up north is like Modesto County. Like, yo, like ain't nobody around here. Like the North Hollywood and the Pacoima one, like these are like major cities, you know.
Who does your market analysis?
Well, the thing is, licensing is like you bid on it, so it's pretty much what you can get.
So what do you mean you bid on it? So it's some type of exclusivity?
Yeah, there's a limited number of licenses, and they don't give licenses to companies. They give them to equity partners. Like when California wrote it out, they was like, okay, we want to be equitable. If you were affected by the war on drugs in the last, 30 to 40 years, you're first in line. So a lot of those people got it, but they don't have. Go ahead.
Wait, explain that. What do you mean if you were affected by the war?
Like they use a point system, right? And depending on your case, there may be anywhere from 1 point to 5 points, right? So if you were a non-violent offender and you got sent away for 10 years on a strictly cannabis bid, more likely that would be like 5 points, right? And that would kind of put you towards the front of the line to get you a cannabis license.
Because you were...
Yeah. Because the ideal is if we just let it go, somebody like Big Tobacco is just going to come in, buy up all the licenses and just kind of run it like normal, when the whole kind of shebang was like, yo, y'all been locking cats up for this for X amount of time. Like, what are you going to do to kind of make that right?
Understandable, but not everybody who's been locked up want to start a business, a marijuana business.
No, you got to apply for it. It's not just like rando.
Right, but what about the people who haven't been impacted by the war on drugs? Like, okay, but I think we're kind of
veering off.
To get back to the licensing and where you can get it, are you telling me that there's, like in the city of LA, for example, there's only a certain amount of licenses, is what you're saying, exactly. Right? And once those licenses are gone, that's all the businesses that can operate within
the city limits,
limits, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what is the expiration on these licenses? Is there an expiration? Do you have to renew every year?
Yeah, renewal every year. So yeah, renewal every year. Typically you can't switch locations. I've seen it done a couple times, but it's not common. But yeah, and typically like I said, we don't own the licenses. We partner with like one of these people who got the license, one of the like equity partners. Okay. We call them like, hey, you got the license, but let's be honest, you don't know shit about running a dispensary.
Okay, so what's the now this, like as crooked as people think the government is, there's a lot of smart people who are in the government, right? And they would have foreseen that scenario happening, right? So what measures are in place to ensure that these equity partners, one, are not being taken advantage of, and two, are not being used as conduits to Big Tobacco, Nothing. So there's
because basically that's what we are.
Who's the governing body of
the DCC, the Department of Cannabis Control?
Okay, I've never heard of that. There's no local jurisdiction that oversees what happens in their, like, city of LA, county of San Bernardino. They don't have local jurisdictions that oversee.
Yes, but those local jurisdictions tend to not care. They only care about the local rules. Are you paying local taxes? Are you dumping your waste correctly? Like they're more centralized around those local issues. They don't care about the how you got your license and those kind of state rules, because typically there's 3 sets of rules we have to follow: state, county, city, for everything,
Okay.
And that varies from dispensary to dispensary. Some dispensaries we can't sell our flagship products because the city says, hey, you can't sell vape cartridges. Right.
The let's get back to the equity partners. So the equity partner is the one that's really responsible for keeping the license alive.
Exactly.
Right.
So like the DCC, if there's a problem, they'll email us. We'll hit the equity partner like, hey, you know, like one of our licenses got shut down one time because they didn't have like a live scan. And we was like, hey, you got to go do your live scan. Right. And they was like, oh, my bad, I missed the appointment, let me go do the live scan. But yeah, but you know, but
Jeez, how's they building?
Right. But the equity partners usually don't got a whole lot to worry about because, you know, they got this kind of machine of us behind it where we got the team of lawyers, we got the team of compliance experts.
But what is the risk factor that something can happen to them as an individual and affect your business? Like, fuck the war on drugs, you know, something else can come down, you know, like how do you mitigate that risk that we have? Because like it's not like they don't have any liability in the business, right? Do they have what liability is on them based on the business you guys conduct on a daily basis? None whatsoever. So you guys bear all the liability.
Yeah.
Because if he loses his license for whatever reason, y'all business wherever in that area is gone.
It's done.
Right. Y'all must pay them motherfuckers like. If I knew that I had that type of a hold over a company, bro, like yeah.
No, I mean the thing is, or what else would you do? Like there's plenty of times where we just kind of walk away because the thing is, okay, you can partner with maybe a more localized brand, or you can try to go about it yourself.
Right.
But you ain't gonna see a payday no time soon. Right? Like who's gonna set up your city inspections and all that shit? Like, yo, you know, like a lot of times they get it and they just like, yo, it's kind of good for them because
no, I'm not saying it's not good for them. What I'm saying is that when there's no risk involved on their part, because they're not part of the operations, right?
Exactly.
You know?
A couple of them end up kind of we swallow them in, like, you know, yeah, but they have nothing to do with their actual dispensary usually.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting model.
Yeah, it's just, it's a bunch of weird ass models in the industry. Same thing with like farms. They didn't want like big tobacco to like buy up all the farms, so they broke it down so where you can only have X amount of acres.
Right.
And we just bought a bunch of the fucking acres.
Right.
Like now they all just all together, but you know, we gotta break them down into different licenses. That's a pain, but it's like, come on, y'all should have thought this through better.
I'm sure that as time goes by, they'll figure it out, but no, that's interesting.
Yeah. And they just got rid of, when Newsom rolls out the new budget, they're gonna scrap the cultivation tax, the tax on growers. That shit basically gonna fucking up in the whole fucking industry for a bit.
I can't call this nigga Kevin.